Michael Chandler moves on from Conor McGregor as he prepares for Paddy Pimblett at UFC 314. It has been 8 months since Conor McGregor withdrew from his highly anticipated return fight against Michael Chandler, and it appears that Iron isn't waiting around for that notorious payday any longer. After facing Charles Oliveira last November, Chandler has now signed on to fight Paddy, the Baddy, Pimblett in April. As he gears up for another blockbuster pay-per-view event, the former Bellator champion has shared his thoughts on whether the UFC will ever rebook his fight against McGregor. Chandler on McGregor's UFC future: "I wouldn't bet on it." Speaking with Ariel Helwani, Chandler revealed that the UFC still expects McGregor to return, largely because of their unfinished business from The Ultimate Fighter TUF 31. That is the UFC sentiment, and I think it's even his sentiment. He said he's a man of his word. Well, if you're a man of your word, then there's only one guy you're going to fight when you come back, the guy who had a contract with your name on it. However, when pressed on whether he truly believes McGregor will fight again, Chandler gave a more skeptical response. "Heart of hearts is tough, man. Because I think in my heart, Conor will come back at some point. But if I was a betting man using my brain, I wouldn't put money on it." Chandler argued that, despite McGregor's growing list of side projects and ventures, he will eventually be drawn back to his first love, MMA. Conor has to come back. The one thing that gave him every shiny object he's currently chasing, all these side quests and side jobs, can be traced back to the UFC. Does he want his legacy to be, "My last fight, I broke my leg, teased the greatest comeback in combat sports history, fooled everyone for a couple of years, and never returned"? I don't think that's how he wants to be remembered. McGregor has recently teased a potential BKFC fight, while the 4-year anniversary of his last UFC bout, a TKO loss to Dustin Poirier, looms on the horizon. Chandler faces Pimblett at UFC 314 on April 12. While a fight with McGregor remains uncertain, Chandler's next challenge is already set: Paddy Pimblett. The two lightweights will square off in the co-main event of UFC 314, which takes place on April 12 in Miami. The event will be headlined by Alexander Volkanovski vs. Diego Lopez for the now vacant UFC featherweight championship. For Chandler, securing a high-profile victory at UFC 314 could reignite his chances of finally facing McGregor. However, Pimblett has his own sights set on the "red panty night" opportunity. "Sounds very tasty," Pimblett told Round 8 Boxing when asked about stealing the McGregor fight from Chandler. "A lot of people have already said this to me: beat Chandler, take the McGregor fight. Obviously, it's the biggest fight in the sport, the biggest fight we've ever seen." With both Chandler and Pimblett eyeing the sport's biggest payday, UFC 314 promises to be a high-stakes showdown for both men.